Because every step we can take towards another is only possible if we have taken it toward ourselves. The worst thing in the world is to live with an insecure person, a person who is not sure what they feel, for example, a person who is not sure what they have caused in another. It is the true story. It is the classic story from the movies. That disturbs both hearts so much. When you live with a person who is not sure, what is they cause in you? It is a hell for the rest of your life. Hell for the rest of your life, because you have no way of getting inside. Another thing to say is, look, there's no need to be afraid, because what you've already provoked in me is strong enough to make me want to stay here. And even because sometimes it takes us years and years and years and years to get to know someone, and it's too much work, so that later we throw it away and want to get to know someone else, right? That's what infidelity is, love. The stupidity that someone can do in life. Because if a woman is already a lot of work, imagine too, if a woman already demands 100% dedication, right? Imagine two, so it's better to be competent with one. But without having to, we should be whole in the relationship. We shouldn't tear ourselves apart at the moment. That being whole doesn't mean being stuck to each other or having these clingy relationships that no one can handle. Where's the other person living? You're going, I'm going with you. What are you looking at over there? Whoever is there who is watching. Who is love? Who is talking to you on the cell phone? Because for the love of God, shut up. This thing about you having this relationship, this symbiosis all the time, right? No, nobody, no one deserves this. The relationship to work, the two hearts to live this trust, the security that the song talks about, which I think is very beautiful, of trusting yourself so that, consequently, you give security to those who approach you. This is very positive. And you can see the people you trust are people who are already sure of themselves. They are people who have already gone through a process of conquering themselves. People, I am convinced that in life we are always a territory to be conquered. And it is not only by others. No, when we said that there is always a man to be rescued inside each one of us, and if I truly believe in that, I have to conquer myself all the time. How do I raise the flags of freedom so that I can raise the flags to say, look, Fabio, be yourself in the least that you do. As the poet Fernando Pessoa said, in the least that you do, put everything that you are, MC all in the small part. This makes us see life with much wisdom. Wisdom, because we stop wasting moments. I am whole here now. The great gift of the vow of chastity, this, I can be whole here at this time. There are no worries in my head. I didn't leave any snotty people at home with a fever, except for my dog. But he is very understanding, you know? Whenever I come back, he is always happy. Didn't you ask where I was? Who was I with? The free gift is always the same with me. But here it is. The vow of chastity allows me to be whole in everything I do. There is no division in me now. I'm not worried about anything except you. The girl will provide you with a pleasant afternoon, except providing your heart, today, with a reflection that can do you good, that can intervene positively in your thoughts, in your reflection, to be whole. And sometimes in our relationships, we have an immense difficulty in living the dimension of the temple of respect, because we don't want to be whole in what we are. Jealousy is precisely the moment when we are being half of ourselves. Because the time you are by his side, which could have been pleasant, you wasted with fights, with distrust, with unwanted situations. How many times did you go out, all cute, getting ready for a party? When you got there, everything ruined, all because of a jealousy attack, right at the beginning. Then he stays right next to us. This time next to us. This time not. And they lost the night of their lives. They'll never come back. Everything, at least they did, was stupidity the whole night. That opportunity is over. They're gone. And sometimes we keep repeating this, instead of making the other person's life beautiful. The only agent ends up vomiting on them our dissatisfactions and insecurities. And when we start, pardon the word, vomiting on the other person our insecurities, are we damaging the other person's life? When instead of making that moment a happy moment, I limit myself to disturbing, to making that moment unpleasant. Am I harming the other person? Yes. Because from the beginning the other person? Yes, because from the beginning we've been talking about this. From the moment I enter the other person's story, I enter into Christian responsibility. I date from the shadow of the cross. I live my relationships from the cross, from the perspective of giving, of surrender, of the love of gratuitousness. And it remained. Anything else that comes close to this, the least I do for you, I have to put my whole heart in, because this is a conquest of each day. People fool you into thinking that your girlfriend was conquered in a single time. Be careful. The conquest is of each day. No one is safe. There is always a care of each day. Isn't it Milton Nascimento who says, and we have to take care of the bud. What is life for? Give us flowers. If you don't take care of the bud, don't expect a flower or bud, right? Give us an old word, right? The pretty girls. In other times it was called brute. Today it is bitch, barbecue, the little water, and I don't know what else. In the old days, the composers, right? If they wanted to honor a woman, they sang like this: you are divine and graceful, majestic statue of love for God, sculpted and formed with ardor for Nana. Ready? Are you going to get it today? You have my little chichuka. Come and dance your what, happy girl? It's the way we are judging, doing our conquest exercise. You who are married can testify to this with me. People, if every day I don't live my game of seduction with God, He encourages me as much as I discourage Him. The game of conquest every day, of me realizing that in God there is something new to be gathered always, because if not, it is impossible to be faithful. Is it impossible? The experience of my care for God, there is a reality that I take care of every day so that I continue to be God's, because if not, I lose all reference. The worst, I lose not only the reference of consecrated, but I also lose the Christian reference. It's just a matter of neglecting. Dating, marriage is a lifetime. Who said that marriage only happens at that moment when the priest is in your presence? Marriage is a cultivation of each day, of you assuming yourselves. We are now at this moment, assuming before the community that we want to live our whole lives in the experience of cultivating who we are. Will we become better than we are? And many times, this carelessness comes right away. Are you sure? Is it guaranteed? No, there is nothing guaranteed. Just a promise and 6 more. And this promise unfolds in the daily experience, in the care that makes this woman fall more and more in love with you. Love is renewed as we incite it, as we provoke it. Loving attitudes are what make the other fall in love. Do you agree with me? That passion is a food for love, and that it needs to be cultivated every day. That you can't say that you've demarcated your territory like a dog goes there, right? Zinho, who goes around peeing everywhere. You've demarcated your territory. Now it's mine. There's nothing like that. No. You're not a space to be limited like that, are you? You're a heart that wants to live the game in the seduction of love every day. Because if not, it gets monotonous. Like a note I received now that I found this interesting. I don't want to see the movie twice. No way. I want to see the movie every day. Because seeing the movie twice can be very monotonous. And this wonder of you coming into someone else's life to provoke a positive reaction in them towards life. Do you know how people become more alive? Because they are loving and not the other way around. For a long time we had a reference of holiness that didn't help us understand this, because the saints were those depressed people with their heads down, full of suffering, and nobody wanted to go out like that. Did you want to? Not me. I looked at the general issue of that thinness in 14 CF. Oh my Lord, I want to expose my life, not people. Our Lady of Sorrows, my God in heaven, what a crazy thing. I don't want that for my life. No. The reference of holiness was based on suffering for its own sake. It was part of an era, it fed a generation, but it no longer feeds yours. Because today the reference of holiness that we have to have is of happy people, amazed by this God who every day gives us the unique opportunity to be who we are, to free ourselves every day from our neuroses, from our fears. And here is the importance of the other. The other is a concrete historical arm of God in my story. The other is this direct intervention in my life. Through your smile, you gave me a smile. Through your arm, God extends this to me. Imagine yourself thinking about a house where everyone has this dimension, where no one loses his perspective. Imagine yourself, this dimension, where no one loses his perspective. Imagine yourself, relationship with this perspective. How wonderful my kiss on you. May God do it through my lips and demonstrate it in you, that he loves you through. If we could assimilate this theory, if we could make this a concrete attitude of men and women of God, we would transform the society. Because, look, how many young people do we have here? How many friends should we talk to in their heads about this? The initiative of the renewed universities. May I praise it, I do. I think it is wonderful to think about faith intelligently, without needing to resort to absurdities to show God. Us and God based on common sense, not based on an ordinary t-shirt. No to S.O. from a law that you follow with difficulty. Do not show God from your joy. He is a man of God. He is a man of the church, and yet he is happy. It's normal. There are no stereotypes. Can he go to parties? Can he be a normal person? Can he be very sociable? Can he be happy and yet, at no point in his story did he lose sight of the fact that he is a person, that he is human, who suffers in the flesh, all the hardships of our condition, who does not lose sight of the sacrifices that need to be made, but also does not lose sight of the joys that deserve to be savored. Because the day that we stop our holiness only in the sacrifice that we have to live, we will get tired of this project of holiness in 2 years, which is a time that we can bear the pressure. If we do not discover the joy, the flavor that exists in following Jesus, we will never be able to make sacrifices for him for more than 2 years. That is the time, that is the estimate. That goes through the charismatic renewal. Those people who became enthusiastic about God and who stop at the sacrifice. I want to follow Jesus to be happy. By being happy, I can accept the sufferings of each day, transforming them as if I were an alchemist, giving them a new meaning, and for that, the people with whom my heart unites. People who never lose sight of me at any moment. If he comes into my life, it will be to help me never forget this, that God's project in my life is a process of personality reintegration that is nothing else. That God comes into my story to make me better, to make me more of a person. And that is why I do not have a right to allow a person to come and ruin me with their influence. I do not have the right to allow and admit a person within the territory that is sacred to desecrate that which I know cannot be desecrated. And that is what love is. This capacity, this possibility that we have to approach each other with due reverence, and also with all the joy, which is and consists of finding a soulmate. You have the right to dream, to want the best husband. Do you know why? Because one day you have already experienced the best love. Whoever has truly experienced the love of God does not accept any little love that comes along. I want to be free, and I do not want anyone who comes to imprison me. Who comes to build a fence to make me a dog and say, "Are you just going to stay here inside?" Same the story of the enchanted bird. That little bird came and sang every day at the girl's window. He would come and sing for 15 minutes, leave and only come back the next day at the same time. He came and sang, and that day the girl set a trap because she wanted to capture that little bird for herself. And she learned the little bird in his naivety. He came and sang, and when he least expected it, he was already trapped. But there was one detail. He never sang again, because he was only enchanted, because he was free. When you imprison the enchanted bird, he stops singing. The same goes for love. When we imprison the other inside our cages make it impossible for him to be who he is. Consequently, he lies. Consequently, he loses his grace. He stops having value. He becomes a puppet by our side, of which we get tired very quickly. And the worst part? We made him chained. We made them forget how to live free. And then we don't want them anymore? That's what we often do. People come into our lives. We take away their enchantment, because we imprison them and make them be the way we want. We don't have the sensitivity to give them space, for them to show us the beauty and enchantment that exists in them and be what they want. With our jealousy, we even change the way they cut their hair, because we tell them to, we determines, I don't want you to wear that outfit. I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to go there. I don't want you to come here. We chain ourselves up in the same way as in that Luciano Huck program there. We make the other our little pet. And Huck program there. We make the other our little pet. And next to a little pet, we can never be happy. We can never be happy because with them, there is no such interaction as we joked and said. There is no such thing. He doesn't say anything to me, and he doesn't even challenge me. Our tendency to want only those who are like us by our side is our fear of being different, our lack of courage, of looking into the eyes and letting ourselves be challenged by the other. When he arrives with his difference, he ends up being a mirror for my defects, that he shows me that he can be better. I always want to be in front of the mirror, which is Jesus, even if it means feeling ashamed for the rest of my life. Because when I look at this man, I see that I don't do this. What did he manage to do? I can't love those he loved. I can't look at those he looked at. I can't prefer what they preferred. I'm even going to record a CD about the Paulines now in the middle. The album has this name. It's one the song I'm talking about is like I'm calling Jesus to talk to me in private. I'm telling him like this. What could people see in your eyes so that they could change so much? What could people see in your eyes that a prostitute could get up from the ground with such a desire to live? What was in your eyes? I confess to him, I'm embarrassed. The song is called Too Human. Then the chorus goes something like this. I'm too human to understand. Too human to realize. The reason that reveals the way you love. I'm too human to understand. Too human to realize that those you chose and took by the hand, I usually don't want by my side. CB. The reason that reveals your way of loving. I am too human to understand. Too human to realize that those that you chose and took by the hand, I generally don't want them by my side. What the truth? If I tell you that I want to be friends with a prostitute, am I lying? If I tell you that I would be comfortable receiving a prostitute in my house, I am lying. I never went to visit her. I never went there to hear the pains that woman's heart has. If I tell you that I have sat among lepers, to know what it means to be a leper, am I lying to you? If I were to tell you that sometimes in the cold early mornings I leave my house in the comfort of my car to take someone who is cold as a cover out on the street, am I lying to you? I naturally tend to prefer the most beautiful, the most upright in life, the most correct, those who are morally within the rules. I am afraid of thieves. Don't you have a chat with them? I am very afraid. To hear the pain of these people who I cannot understand why they are like that. I have no patience with my alcoholic brothers. I cannot stop to listen. Why would I want to lie before Jesus? If I told him, if I continue to prefer the same ones that he preferred to lie to, generally, the ones that Jesus preferred, I don't even want to go near. Don't you want to? But when did I realize this feeling of mine? And I look at myself in the mirror, which is him. I feel ashamed, and a shame that doesn't make me stay still. But it makes me move, Run after what's wrong. There's still time to change. It's not possible that I have to die with all this pride. It's not possible that I have to die with all this arrogance. I don't want this holiness that has become arrogance for me for a long time. People, I confess to you that for a long time I was proud of the holiness that I lived, but not as a value. It was vanity. I was vain for being a saint, for being chaste. And when am I vain for being a saint? I, consequently, begin to despise those who cannot be saints. Consequently, I begin to classify the pure and the impure. And I forget that my mercy is precisely the welcoming of those who do not deserve to be welcomed. So, I regret to inform you that, although I seem to be a saint, I am living in a much worse condition than the prostitute who is a man passed by her house every day. I feel that way. That is why when I look in the mirror, which is so different from me, I do not say it. I just feel a little ashamed. I ask him to give me strength to be as you were. Give me strength to update my life, even if it is only for a cubit, a short duration, so that I can change the world in some way, in some heart that I find. Give me the possibility of the Lord to change the lives of others. Give me the possibility of making my heart always find the other. To be like this, to make a difference in the world, and not to reaffirm the evil that is already in it. Sometimes the opportunity is unique. Sometimes the only opportunity is that one. I am in front of that person. I do not know if I could ever be there again in my life. It is my moment to leave my mark of Christianity. Even more so when you take someone into your life that you, Christianity, even more so when you take someone into your life that you invite and allow to enter your story. It is not for anything other than to make this mirror that is Jesus reflect us differently. It has the same time and the desire to place our heart in it. That is why the other enters our story differently, to help us reverse what in us is often so precarious. As the President of the United States said, when he met Mother Teresa of Calcutta for the first time in his life, it was Ronald Reagan. He met her, and they asked him how it felt to meet a woman like that, the most important man in the world, with that simple woman. He only said one sentence. I felt embarrassed. Is that really how it is? There are many people in life who we meet and it makes us ashamed. But the beautiful thing about feeling ashamed is it's thinking, can I be different? Because if it makes me ashamed, it's because something in me is out of balance. Do you agree? If it makes me ashamed, it's because something in me is out of balance. So I fight so that this can be different. And you have so many opportunities, so many people that you can pass through life today. Leaving a response, leaving a word, letting your gaze, letting your heart touch another heart. The Two Hearts Project doesn't want to be just a reflection for couples, but it wants to be, above all, a reflection for Christian people who want love in a way. Sometimes in life, for us to discover the value that the other has for us, we need to lose. It is unfortunate that it is like this. Sometimes the other needs to go away so that we can measure the exact space that he occupied within that house. Don't expect to lose anyone. Don't wait for people to die, for people to leave, for you to discover how valuable they are to you. Don't wait for people to abandon you so you can discover how selfish you were. Don't wait for people to get tired of your jealousy, for you to discover how possessive you were. Don't wait for people to lie to you, for you to see how suspicious you are. Because sometimes we are the ones who provoke the other person's lie. There would be no problem at all if he said he was on the field playing soccer with his friends. But what about the fear that you won't believe him? So he says I was working. Just because you never gave him the freedom to be truthful, no matter how bad the news is. Have the courage to listen. Don't let people become liars just because you are unable to hear the truth. Because many times, because we are unable to hear the truth, we force the whole world to be liars because of us. Is this interfering negatively in the world? As I give others the possibility of being truthful to me, I strengthen them, the truth in the world. As I give the other the right to tell me that he went, having a beer with friends, that there was no problem at all in what he was there having fun in a healthy way. A group of friends there gathered at the weekend. If I give him the freedom to tell me this, without it causing a fight, I am giving the world the possibility of being more truthful, because it is these attitudes that have repercussions. In the great space that is life, it is these attitudes that will have repercussions in the great, spacious, the world that we inhabit. As I was saying, we want an organized world, but we don't have the courage to tidy up the closet. Jealousy, feeling so typical of someone who is insecure about who they are. You can only do harm to the world because of this, my people. Don't waste time. Don't lose your next boyfriend. Don't lose another person who passed through your life because you couldn't stand your jealousy, couldn't stand your childishness, couldn't stand your insecurity. If the feeling comes, embrace it. Look in the eyes. Have the courage to challenge yourself. Have the courage to grow, because we only grow when we face a monster. If we allow jealousy to become greater than our capacity to reflect once again, we are consequently strengthening the strength of its power over us. As I am saying, another person comes into our life. He awakens the most diverse feelings in us. He will awaken your sexuality, your desire. He will awaken your love. He will awaken your hate. He will awaken your anger. He will awaken your jealousy. Make the other person be a mirror for you to deal with all these feelings in the best way possible. The other person is there for that, to help you. They are there to provoke you. We are provocations all the time. We just have to meet for us to provoke each other. Now, if every time this feeling of jealousy takes over your heart and you give into it, you will continue to lose everyone. We will continue to be immature our entire lives. And what about dating? We will continue to be immature our entire lives. And what about dating from a Christian perspective? Friendship, from a Christian perspective, is always a perspective of provocation, of you always being open for the other person to reveal to you that there are things that deserve to be taken care of, that we cannot give up, because many times we waste time in people. When do we not have the courage to deal with ourselves? We want to grow, but we do not want the pains of growing. We want things to change, but we do not have the courage to take a step towards change. Then everyone goes through our story, and they will not put up with us. We keep trying, our whole lives trying, and we never get it right because whenever we needed to change, we blame others. We transfer all the responsibilities to others. We don't have the courage to take responsibility. It was my mistake. I'm being selfish. At this time, I'm suspicious. At this time, help me face this feeling. I think that everything that goes through us, all of this, it has to be collected. It can't be thrown away. It has to be welcomed in the responsibility of knowing I'm like this. I need to heal myself, because if not, we will be sick for life. We will miss the best phase of life. We will lose in time. We will leave everything for the end. And there is so much to be savored now. There is so much sacrifice to be made now. But there is also much victory to be celebrated now. The care of the conquest of each day. The joy of being together, of being friends. Another thing that we cannot allow. Our friendships, people, they have to interfere in a positive way in us. My friend, if he is true, he challenges me all the time. He does not allow me to stand still, but he always challenges me to take steps, like Jesus did with Peter. The day that Jesus came into Peter's life, he found only one fisherman. That's it. He was a man who didn't know how to do anything except fish. Jesus looked into his eyes. Certainly the challenge. Have you ever thought of doing something different? I only know how to do this. I don't know how to do anything else. Jesus could have kept quiet at that moment, but looking at Peter, he said, Peter, don't you know the great man that is hidden inside you? Peter, you have no idea. The great man that is hidden in all this ignorance? In the great, in the great preacher. What is behind such rude hands and face? Peter, can't you imagine? In the great man that is hidden? Friendship is like sculpture, people. We take a log of wood and remove the excess until you see it there. The image that is there, that we only remove the excess. As Father Leo says, beautiful crucifix, all carved in wood. He looked at the artist and said, how beautiful your art. Congratulations. Not that, Father. Christ was already there inside. Inside the tree, I just removed the excess. The great man that was inside Peter. He already exists there. It wasn't Jesus who put it there. But Jesus' friendship removed the excess. Made him. From a rude man, he became a great prophet, a great man, a great leader, the spiritual father of us all, the first great boss. And it's not possible that we don't learn, that we too are invited to do this. When I looked into each other's eyes and realized, my God, here could be a great man, a great woman, but by force of destiny, for lack of opportunity, they haven't come out yet. I think it's wonderful to find couples who have promoted themselves, who weren't afraid of success or the other, friends who have promoted themselves. How many testimonies do we find from friends who say, Father, I am me. I am what I am, because one day a friend believed in me. A friend believed in me. People who make a difference in our lives and who may be sitting here by our side today. People without whom we wouldn't know even half of who we are. What are we? And we miss them. If you were to have your last supper today, who would be your 12 guests? If today were the last day of your life, and how would Jesus had to celebrate his last supper? Who would be your 12 guests? They would certainly be people who one day looked into your eyes and discovered a great woman who is in you. What are you looking at now? What did you look at one day? Can you interfere? You can say with all pride, in you I see marks that are mine. In you I see things that were mine, that are now so alive inside you. When I look into your eyes, I can discover my way of being impregnated in you. I do this experience a lot with my mother, you know? Sometimes I see my mother, yes, already so fragile with her health, with age, right? I see in myself like this. A man, fragile with her health, with age, right? I see in myself like this. A man who came out of her, who never came out, because I feel my mother surviving in me. She also liked to sing, and I feel that when I sing, she sings in me. If I'm doing a show, she's sitting in the audience. I see that in her. It's like she's saying this to me. I see myself in you. You know this thing about symbiosis, that life doesn't allow us to lose? I thank God so much. That's when I was able to discover this with my mother alive. She didn't need to die. And the joy of knowing myself in her, of recognizing myself in her, of realizing that there are also friends in my story who are like that too. That when I look at them, it's like he's saying, Father, in my sentences that are yours, but now after you said them to me, they become mine. Father, the songs that were once only yours, and that after what you sang, that enter my ears, have become mine too. That's the beauty of life. When you start to discover that you've been spreading out across the world in a way that you can no longer know where that's where you are, because wherever you went, a trace of you remained there. That's why we can die today. That your day, somehow I've already survived in someone. Was it worth it? That's what Jesus did. Jesus didn't waste time with his friends, you know, because he knew he needed to survive. He knew that as a man, he would also go through the experience of death, and that the great gift of the resurrection could only be understood if the disciples looked at each other humanly. He came to the conclusion, Peter, do you know why I believe in the resurrection? I forgive myself, I would say to John, because John, it is not because you saw yourself a little empty. It is because I see a living master in you. When I look at you, John, I see Jesus, see? So he did not die, because if he survives in me, if they survive in you, we have nothing left. Do not try to do anything other than proclaim. Is he in our midst? And if he is in our midst, can we say that? This Christianity is the reproduction, the multiplication of the resurrected life of God in us. If Christianity is this continuous resurrecting of God in us, leading us more and more to assume in our history the perspective and the conviction that at this moment, I am Jesus again for you. So we are proud to knowing that what we recognize in others must always be the good that God allows us to live and achieve. Today you have people here that you love. I know, friends, boyfriends, girlfriends, parents, siblings, etc. People that I know, do they have any value to you here? Why do you already recognize them? Or haven't you spread yourself out yet? Don't let time pass. Don't let people leave so that you can discover what of you is already surviving in others. And so life becomes eternal. And so we are resurrected. When do we start to live in each other? When do we start to realize that our feelings are no longer just ours? But it hits. The emotions are the same. The suffering is the same. And we feel the same pain even when it is not ours. But why is my friend suffering? Am I capable of suffering with him? Because my friend is happy. I am capable of being happy with him. And we are already realizing that the world is becoming too small for us. Because when do we start identifying our feelings in each other? We are starting to realize that heaven has already started to happen. That every time I truly love, that I look at someone and I realize that there's already a trace of my humanity there, in him having passed to the divinity of God. Can I say it now? Life is becoming eternal. All that is left for us to do is thank each other. Thank you for the life that you, Venezuela, gave me. Say this. If there is someone here today who deserves your life, this from you, thank you for the life that you have already immortalized in me. Don't say it just for the sake of saying no, only if you really deserve to hear it. It's too strong a sentence for us to throw out to anyone. Is there a friend here, even if they are not by your side, but who deserves to hear this from you today? Thank you for having already shown me a little of what it means to be eternal. Get out of your place. Iwata, if someone today deserves to hear from you, this Thanksgiving prayer, I think it's worth it. This meeting, that was united hearts. Do you want to get closer? Do you want to do something different? Love and embarrass yourself. That's right. It's embarrassing yourself that's good in life. When we love, we want to show it. Thank you for the life that you've already done your trick on me. Did your friendship make a difference in my story? Did your relationship even make difference in my story? Did your relationship even make boyfriends who have already broken up? It would be very beautiful if some ex-boyfriends could say this to others. Thank you for the heaven that you showed me when we were dating. Even if we came to the conclusion that we shouldn't continue anymore. Freeze. I'm not afraid, people. I'm here to love you and be loved. Look into your eyes and let me fall in love before you. To surrender to the U.S. For me, surrender to your love. The look in the eyes with this table. Looking in the eyes against stress. I am a sinner. Taker. Does it also sound here? I am also here to ask for your forgiveness. To watch see it. For the weapons that still do not. For the souls that still do not. Listen to your heart. Touch your heart. Love you for those who do not love you. Adore you for those who do not adore you. Wait for you. Why do not wait for you and you? For those who do not believe in you, I believe in you. Gatekeeper, I love you. I adore you. Do not wait for you. For those who do not believe, I am here. Music is perfect. It is a summary of everything we were talking about all this time. That God gives us the opportunity to, through our arms, through our eyes, through our lips, update his presence in the life of the other. And the worship that pleases God the most is this. Hi. It is a moment where our body is at the service of the kingdom of heaven, worshiping and making others feel loved by God in such a concrete gesture, in such a unique gesture. For those who want to make their life different, call out, stand up, or for those who do not love themselves, worship. Wait for those who do not wait for you, for those who do not believe in you. I am here. For those who do not believe in you, I am here. I believe in you. For those who do not believe in you, I am here. I believe in you. I am. To be loved without loving? Look into my eyes and let me. Father Skonik, Dine Deet, Rami upon us, the blessing and protection from the Almighty God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen.